Trey Mancini joins us on ESPN 1000. Trey, how are you?
Doing well. How are you guys?
We're doing well.
Excellent.
As a proud Italian American, is there any way I could convince you to reconsider and play for Team Italy in the World Baseball Classic?
Oh man, I was very much looking forward to it, but I feel like I made the right decision, and now that I'm out in Arizona, it's great to be out here and feel like I need to be out here with the team throughout the spring. As tough of a decision as it was.
It makes sense. I get it. You want to be with the team. What did Piazza say when you told him? Was he devastated?
I think he was very much looking forward, to working together, and he totally understood. He's a pro. He totally gets it. But I was looking forward to playing for him, and we were looking forward to working together. But maybe next time the stars will align.
Talk about the offseason for you a little bit here and what led you to the Cubs.
So signed about a month ago, and I've just been so excited. It's where I was really hoping to land, and I'm not just saying that. I'm so thrilled to be here and on this team, and I feel at home already here. It's been great.
What do you say about winning a World Series at this point in your career, especially considering what you had to come back from after 2020?
Yeah, I mean, it was just another, it was worth it before, going through all that and being able to come back and play. But just another really amazing and cool milestone, being able to be a part of that, being able to be a part of that team was special. And it was, an experience I'm always going to cherish and, something that can never be taken away from you.
Trey Mancini's our guest from Cubs camp. It's Carmen and Jurko on ESPN 1000. Is it hard getting traded to a team that's as good as Houston at the deadline like that and trying to assimilate yourself into what they have going on in a place like that?
Not too much. They helped make it easy. The guys on the team were great. I fit in really well there. So, I was in Baltimore for a long time. It was my 10th season in the organization. So it was bittersweet when it happened. But, when the dust settled, it felt right, being in Houston. And, I feel like, as far as immersing myself in their clubhouse, things like that, it couldn't have gone better. So, I had not had that experience before. It was new to me, but, it was a great, I'd say, the first experience going to a new team.
You said you wanted to come to the Cubs. This is the place that you wanted to be. They were rotten last year. Why do you want to be here in Chicago?
They had a great finish to the year. We when I was on Baltimore, we played them in June and July, I believe.
Right,
The improvements that were made at the end of the year, I looked up and saw their record, saw the things they were doing. I was impressed with that. And then look at the signings that were made this offseason too. I mean, it's a really exciting group, I think, that's been brought in here. So I wanted to be part of it. And it's cool. We're all kind of here together, learning the team, and we're all new together. And I think you can establish a culture pretty quickly that way.
So what are some reasspecial expectations then, Trey? I mean, like you said,
they were 12-3 in their last 15.
They were,
last year.
And they hit the over too. They spent some money. You signed one of the premier shortstops on the market. You're here. Tyone's here. What are some of the reasonable expectations for you guys this year?
Yeah, I mean, we go out there every day, we're wanting to win every game. I mean, that's why we're doing what we do. We're trying to win every single game. Obviously, no team's going to do that, but you have to go out there with that attitude or you get eaten alive at this level. So, we're expecting to have a great year. And with this team's goal, I'd say, is to make the playoffs and make a run for it. That's why we all play the game. And I think that's got to be the team's attitude, rather than looking at it as a stepping stone year, something like that. I think as a collective unit, you have to believe in yourselves and each other. And this team's got a lot of talent. So I think it could be a really fun group.
You played your whole career in the AL. How well do you know Wrigley, if at all? What do you know about the Wrigley experience?
Just played 2 games there last year. And it was incredible. In the AL East, going to Fenway was always really special. And I had that same feeling whenever I went to Wrigley last year. So I'm so excited. I went to a few games there as a kid when I was 12, and then right when I was going to college, I remember going to a game there in 2010. So I had been to Wrigley before. It's reputation obviously precedes it. So It's so cool to be able to get to play there.
What happened in 2001 when you came back after beating cancer? It's truly one of those feel good moments. It was an incredible story when it happened. When you look around and you know how much cancer affects people in every walk of life around the world, family, friends, people that have had to battle it themselves. What do you say to those people? What do you say to Liam Hendricks on the South Side who's dealing with it right now and can't start the season for the White Sox? What's the message, Trey?
Yeah, it's obviously tough when you're going through it and your world stops because all you're thinking about is surviving. That's priority number one. And your perspective on a lot of things changes. But, what helped me when I was going through it was talking to people that had been through it before and came out fine on the other side. I developed a lot of relationships with people who had colon cancer or any type of cancer. And the baseball community was incredible. Everybody really helped me out. They rallied around me. And I feel like Liam is getting the same treatment. So, I know he's going to be okay and back pitching soon enough here. And I'm really excited to see what he does when he's back. And I know it's going to be great like he always is. Hey, before we let you go, you mentioned those 10 seasons in Baltimore. And there were some rough times there towards the end. But last year, and, of course, you got traded and it ended in a phenomenal way for you being part of a world championship team. But that Baltimore team popped a surprising little season on people. I remember when you guys rolled into town on the South Side, I was at one of those games, and I think Rushman had just been up a couple of weeks.
It's the outfield. They kept catching everything that was hit to them.
Like, who the hell are these guys? Like
catching everything.
They got a good little team brewing there, don't they?
They do. There's a lot of talent on that team. Like you said, the outfield defense is pretty tremendous. And I think when Adley got called up, it really turned the tide for the team. And he's the real deal. And so is Gunnar. A lot of these younger guys that have made their debuts, they did a great job. So I'm proud of the way that they played last year, even after Jorge Lopez and I got traded. They kept it going, and it was really impressive to watch.
When you're a veteran and a young guy, like some of the young guys, or a young guy like Rushman with a lot of fanfare, was I think Adley was the first overall pick, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he was.
Right. When guys like that come in, you see the talent, but like, what else do you see sometimes, Trey, where I don't know, maybe there's a key or there's something tips it off, and you look at that young player and you're around him, you go, yeah, he gets it.
I think it's the way that he dealt with the pitching staff. I think sometimes when you're making your debut, you get pretty preoccupied with how you're hitting offensively. You want to get off to a good start, things like that. But he separated that from handling the pitching staff. The second he got there, he just handled them so well and game plan. The whole day he was always doing something. He carried himself like a 10-year veteran. And that's pretty special to see out of somebody, that's a 1-1. It can be a lot of pressure. You can, there's probably a temptation to, think about yourself sometimes and want to live up to expectations, but he didn't do that at all. I was really impressed with the way he handled himself and in the long run, it really showed on the field last year.
Yeah, he looks good. Great stuff, Trey. We appreciate the time. Thanks for joining us. Stay healthy. Have a good season, all right?